Listen, motivation is loud, it shouts, it burns, it excites. But discipline whispers. It's the quiet force that shows up when the fire dies down, when the applause fades, when no one's watching. Motivation gets you started, but discipline is what finishes the race long after the cheering stops. Anybody can move when they feel inspired. Anybody can grind when life is easy, when the plan is working, when the sun's shining and the path is clear. But greatness, real greatness, is born in the moments you don't feel like doing it and you do it anyway. That's the difference between those who talk about success and those who live it. Motivation is emotion. Discipline is decision. Motivation says, I feel ready. Discipline says, I'll go anyway. Every person who ever changed history, every innovator, every leader, every legend wasn't moved by moods. They were moved by mission. Edison didn't invent the light bulb because he was motivated every morning. He did it because he was obsessed with finishing what he started. When he failed 1,000 times, he didn't wait for inspiration to strike. He built his own fire, one experiment at a time. That's what discipline looks like, the willingness to walk through darkness until light appears. Everybody wants success to feel good, but the truth is, it doesn't. It's uncomfortable, it's repetitive, it's lonely. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel, it asks what you committed to. Motivation makes promises. Discipline keeps them. Your emotions, they lie. They tell you rest when you need to rise, quit when you need to continue. You're not ready when the truth is you were born for this. That's why discipline is the armor of the uncommon. It protects your destiny from your moods. You can't build a legacy on feelings. You build it on habits, daily, deliberate, relentless habits. Every small decision compounds. Every repetition matters. Every time you show up, when it's easier not to, you build the muscle of greatness. Discipline isn't punishment. It's freedom disguised as routine. It's the secret that separates those who dream from those who do. Look around. The world is full of dreamers. But the top 1%, they are the executors. They move when it's boring. They act when it's inconvenient. They persist when it's painful. That's what makes discipline divine. It doesn't depend on external fuel. It generates its own energy from within. Motivation is a matchstick, bright, but gone in seconds. Discipline is a furnace. It burns day after day, turning effort into unstoppable momentum. Sometimes you'll wake up tired. Sometimes the goal feels too far. Sometimes you'll question if it's even worth it. But every time you choose consistency over comfort, you wire your mind for greatness. You teach yourself that effort is your native language and excuses are foreign. The universe doesn't reward desire, it rewards discipline. You don't attract success by wanting it. You attract it by becoming worthy of it through repetition, control, and mastery. Discipline is the architect of your destiny. Michael Jordan didn't become the greatest because he wanted to win. He became the greatest because he refused to take a single day off from becoming better. When others were sleeping, he was studying film. When others were celebrating, he was practicing free throws in the dark. That's discipline. That's devotion. That's the difference between almost and immortal. Most people confuse discipline with restriction, but it's actually the highest form of self-respect. When you stay disciplined, you're saying, I am worth the effort. My purpose is worth the pain. My vision deserves my obedience. That's power. Motivation is borrowed energy. Discipline is self-generated power. Motivation gets you out of bed. Discipline builds the life you get out of bed for. You've got to stop depending on sparks and start building engines, because engines don't need perfect weather. They run through storms. Most people start and stop because they built their success on feelings. They say, I'll do it when I feel ready. And that day never comes. Discipline doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't care about moods. It simply acts again and again and again. And in that repetition, it builds identity. Discipline isn't about doing something hard once. It's about becoming someone who doesn't need easy anymore. When you are disciplined, you don't chase the moment. You create it. You don't rely on motivation. You embody mastery. True power isn't doing it when it's fun. It's doing it when it's required. Every time you choose discipline, you carve another line into your character. You're not just building skills. You're building yourself. You're proving to your soul that you can be trusted. And when you can trust yourself, you become unstoppable. Discipline is the language the universe understands. It speaks in consistency. It listens to effort. It rewards endurance. Everybody wants to be remembered. Few are willing to repeat the same simple actions every day until those actions carve a masterpiece. Repetition is boring. Repetition is painful. But repetition is where greatness hides. Discipline is the bridge between potential and power, between what you could be and what you become. Look at history. Carnegie studied efficiency until his mind bled precision. Edison failed 1,000 times and kept building. Oprah faced rejection after rejection. And Walt Disney lost everything twice, but never lost the discipline to dream again. They all understood success isn't built on motivation. It's built on discipline sustained through doubt. Motivation fades when results don't show up fast enough. Discipline endures when results are invisible. Because discipline knows something motivation forgets. Every invisible day adds up. The seed doesn't sprout the day it's planted. It grows in secret, in silence, in patience. That's what discipline is, watering your dream before it blooms. And there will come a time when you feel nothing. No excitement, no spark, just the dull ache of repetition. That's when most people stop. But that's where the chosen few begin to separate themselves. Because the ones who keep going when nothing's happening, they awaken something inside themselves that can't be taught. That's the alchemy of greatness, found not in success, but in the stubbornness to continue. Discipline teaches humility. It reminds you that mastery isn't a gift, it's a commitment. You're not entitled to greatness, you earn it. Brick by brick, habit by habit, sacrifice by sacrifice. You can fake energy, you can fake confidence, but you can't fake discipline. Your habits will always tell the truth. You say you want success. Do your mornings reflect it? You say you want freedom. Do your nights align with it? You say you want to be the best. Are you willing to be bored in the process? Because the top 1% don't rise through emotion. They rise through devotion. Motivation is the wind. Discipline is the anchor. Storms will come, but discipline doesn't run, it endures. The goal isn't to avoid hard times. It's to become the kind of person who thrives through them. The ones who keep showing up build lives that motivation can't. They don't wait to feel ready. They are ready. They don't chase momentum. They create it. They don't wait for purpose. They become it. Discipline gives you power, not over others, but over yourself. And when you can control yourself, your emotions, your focus, your time, you control your world. If you're tired of starting over, stop quitting. If you're tired of feeling lost, live by schedule, not impulse. If you're tired of waiting for the right time, realize discipline makes every moment right. Because the life you want isn't hiding behind inspiration, it's buried inside your habits. Let's be honest, the hardest part of discipline isn't doing the work. It's doing it when it feels like it's not working, when the progress is silent, when the only thing that answers your effort is more resistance. But that's where transformation is born, not in reward, but in repetition. Every rep you push through, every morning you rise when comfort whispers, stay, is shaping an unbreakable version of you. Discipline is the forge of the soul. It shapes the raw metal of potential into power. If you only move when you feel motivated, you'll never build enough momentum to change your life. Motivation is emotion-driven. Discipline is identity-driven. When you become disciplined, you stop asking, how do I feel? And start declaring, this is who I am. You stop chasing temporary highs and start building permanent strength. People who rely on motivation need new videos, new quotes, new sparks. But the discipline, they're fueled by purpose, not hype. You can fool the world, but your habits will always tell the truth. Discipline is the conversation between your present and your future. And the more honest that conversation becomes, the more powerful your life gets. Someday is the lie that kills most dreams. The discipline don't live in someday, they live in today. What they do now determines what they deserve later. Every monument, every innovation, every masterpiece was built by hands that refused to rest. The pyramids didn't rise in a week. Michelangelo didn't carve David in a weekend. Einstein didn't stumble upon relativity in a burst of excitement. They committed to the daily grind of mastery. Discipline turns obsession into legacy. And yes, discipline hurts. It hurts to rise early. It hurts to push past limits. But that pain isn't punishment, it's proof. Proof that you're still in the fight. Proof that you're still becoming. The pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret is forever. Choose your pain wisely. You want peace? Earn it through discipline. You want power? Build it through discipline. You want freedom? Sustain it through discipline. Without discipline, freedom becomes chaos. Without structure, success collapses. Motivation creates moments. Discipline creates momentum. Discipline is not control, it's alignment. Alignment between your actions and your ambitions, your habits and your hopes, your choices and your calling. That's when discipline turns into destiny. Success isn't a finish line, it's a state of being. It's not what you get, it's who you become. The disciplined treat consistency like oxygen. They don't question it, they don't negotiate it, they live it. When the alarm goes off, they rise. When failure comes, they learn. When doubt whispers, they double down, because every act of discipline silences the weakness within. You can't live a legendary life with ordinary habits. You can't call yourself focused while being ruled by distractions. Discipline is the art of saying no to everything that doesn't serve your purpose, even when it's easy, even when it's popular. Discipline is rare because it requires you to disappoint comfort. But every time you choose it, you don't just change your schedule, you change your spirit. You prove that your purpose is stronger than your pain. Your destiny will not be negotiated, because once you taste the strength that comes from keeping promises to yourself, you'll never live on motivation again. Motivation gives you moments of hope. Discipline gives you a lifetime of control. There comes a moment in every life when you must choose to be ruled by feelings or to be guided by standards, to be a slave to moods or a master of mission. That's when discipline steps forward and says, "Follow me." Discipline doesn't promise easy. It promises worth it. It doesn't erase pain. It transforms. It doesn't silence fear. It teaches you to move anyway. Every legend you admire stood at this same crossroad. Lincoln, Ford, Carnegie, Oprah. They all learned motivation makes you start. Discipline makes you unstoppable. Motivation says you can do it. Discipline says do it again. In that repetition, you evolve. You discover that the process is the prize. That success was never hiding behind the finish line. It was hidden in every disciplined day. Discipline isn't punishment. It's permission. Permission to rise above average. Permission to become. The disciplined don't chase outcomes. They build character. They don't seek motivation. They manufacture momentum. They don't fear failure. They use it as fuel. Because when you live with discipline, failure educates you, rejection redirects you, and pain refines you. That's the paradox of discipline. It breaks you down to build you stronger. It burns away weakness until only purpose remains. And once you've walked through that fire, you'll never again settle for mediocrity. Discipline gives you a new identity, built not on hype, but on self-trust. Because that's the real reward, the quiet knowing that you did what you said you would do. When your mind said, stop, your soul said, continue. You became the kind of person who follows through. That's freedom. Freedom not to do whatever you want, but freedom from what once controlled you. Freedom from doubt, from laziness, from inconsistency. Freedom to choose your higher self again and again. Discipline isn't about limits, it's about liberation, because discipline builds confidence, and confidence builds destiny. Every time you show up, you prove to yourself that you can, and that belief becomes unshakable. That's how warriors are made, not through inspiration, but through iteration. Not through perfect days, but through persistent ones. You want to build a life motivation can't. Then stop chasing inspiration and start building infrastructure. Wake up at the same time, plan your day, protect your focus, honor your word, refuse to negotiate your standards. That's how you build a mind that can't be moved, a spirit that can't be shaken, a life that can't be taken down by emotion. One day, when you look back, you'll realize the version of you that once needed motivation to act is gone. You've replaced them with someone who acts because it's who they are. Someone who doesn't talk about discipline. They are disciplined. Someone who doesn't chase greatness. They live greatness. Someone who no longer seeks purpose because they embody it. The goal was never to be motivated. It was to be mastered. To master your time, your habits, your emotion, yourself. That mastery, that quiet, steady control is the foundation of every extraordinary life. Because at the end of the day, the difference between those who dream and those who do isn't luck, isn't talent, isn't opportunity. It's discipline. Discipline will take you where motivation dies. It will build when emotion breaks. It will stay when passion fades. Discipline is the builder of empires, the keeper of promises, the father of freedom, the mother of mastery. When everything else falls apart, discipline still stands. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't wait to feel ready. Be ready. Don't wait for energy. Create it. Don't wait for opportunity. Become it, because the life you want is not waiting to inspire you. It's waiting for you to commit to it. Motivation is momentary. Discipline is eternal. And the moment you choose discipline, you stop living for potential and start living for purpose. So rise, not when it's convenient, but because it's necessary. Show up, not when it's easy, but because it's who you are. Keep going, not until it feels good, but until it's done. Because when the world looks at your life, they won't see motivation. They'll see mastery. They'll see legacy. They'll see a human being who built everything with the quiet, relentless, unstoppable force of discipline.